Do the Rockets have a chance?
I do think. I think they do. I thought they played 2 really good games. Yesterday it's a shame they didn't get a shot off, but I thought that was. I thought it was. For those who want to blame James Harden on that last play, I would praise Steph Curry and Klay Thompson more than I would blame James Harden, because they force the missed shot and you're blowing it up court. And I think we've all seen in basketball many times where defenses in that transition period trying to get back, especially in end of quarter, end of game circumstances, they just get discombobulated. And it's kind of, George Karl used to always love this. He would never call timeouts because he's like, look, we got you on your heels, and so I just thought it was a very intelligent play by those 2 guys, just to go get him, pry the ball loose. They didn't even get a shot. I mean, that's a very disappointing game.
Chris, he panicked, and I'll tell you why he panicked. What's the last thing you should be doing when you're on a fast break? Passing to your center who's streaking down the middle of the court. He immediately passed the ball to Howard, to Dwight Howard. And Howard wanted nothing to do with the ball. He gave it right back to Harden. But it was a good defensive play.
With time right down, you don't give it to your center 40 feet from the basket. What's he going to do with it? But I would say this to you. And the reason why I blame Harden is once you got double team, I don't think it was so brilliant by them. They knew Harden was going to get the ball. Yeah. He's the guy that's going to beat us. Who's going to beat us?
Yeah.
Ariza? No. So they double teamed him. He passed to Howard, gets the ball back. You're still double teamed. Timeout. Here, McHale's got to call timeout and say, okay, we took that philosophy, which I believe with.
Bad situation.
Well, okay, 3 seconds to go. We better, because what am I going to do with it? I have looked at it over and over, Chris, this morning. The only player on the court that was open was in the far right-hand corner. Jones was the guy that was streaking down the court. He had a fraction of a second to catch him. Now, the play is that when he gets double-teamed, Jones is coming first before Howard. You could have passed it to him. He could have passed in the corner, and you'd had an open shot.
He didn't pass, but I believe he didn't pass it to him because he wanted to keep the ball and do something with it, and then he turns around and boom, double team.
Right. You call a timeout before you throw it to Howard. You call a timeout when you're double teamed the second time.
You know who would have called the timeout? You know who would have called the timeout there? Chris Webber.
He definitely
Kevin McHale could have,
without thought as to whether
Kevin McHale's not caught up in the heat of it. He could have gone over there and said,
and just ran down the court and said, "Hey, I think all those are valid points. They really are. It's a shame that they didn't get a shot up, but I think what Houston was able to do in those 2 games. I mean, listen, that's Golden State with 99 points. There's not a lot of teams holding them under 100 like that. There's a lot of really good things they were able to do in those first 2 games that I think a home court edge helps your role players, so you'll get better performances out of some of those guys. I mean, they weren't even playing Pablo Prigioni, and they put Nick Johnson on the court, and that's unbelievable. But so those guys play a little bit better at home. You get that bump. If you're able to do a lot of the same things that you were able to do in Oakland, I think we'll find that Houston wins those 2 games at home.
You think they're going to win both?
If they do what they did in Golden State, they'll win both games.
Teams that go 2-0 win in the conference finals 94% of the time. So I wish Chris and the Rockets great.
That segment sponsored by John Elway Cadillac of Park Meadows. It's Colorado's #1 Chevrolet dealer.
When you go to buy a car, what do you really want? You probably want a lot of cars to choose from. And you want the dealership's best price. Not some starting price or target price, the best price. And you want it immediately, not after hours of negotiating. And you want a salesperson who doesn't get paid more if you spend more. Because, well, you don't want to spend more. Well, you're in luck. John Elway wants all of those things too. Better yet, John Elway wants you to have all of those things too. Come see us or click on elwaydealers.com.